What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Hopefully this match goes very quickly. We got Bud versus Nikki J320. Alright, so I'm not sure who went first. Nikki went for the the end-phase MST. He hits a Sanctum, which Bud chains. Oh lord, Bud's playing Night Assailant. This is probably a scrubby deck. 1500, 1599. Alright, so a clutch dark hole bails Nikki out. He's playing Agents. I just don't understand why people keep playing this bad deck. It's just another lose the win the deck. Alright, so the MST, or excuse me, the I guess it's gonna be a full artifact war. The dark hole clears out Treeborn Frog and Monarch. Nikki gets himself a Venus from Earth, and he gets himself an Honest from Pot of Duality. Obviously knowing he's not going to be doing much special summoning, considering he already used his normal summon. And he just passed his turn because he has Honest in hand. Wow, if that wasn't the what's it called? If that wasn't the okay. I could have swore he attacked and then used Duality. Anyways, he must have did it in reverse, and maybe I missed it, even though I'm looking straight at this. So he drops Gores. Gore is still a really good card in my opinion. I mean, I run it in Monarchs, but I still feel like it's pretty solid. One problem that Gores has is, I know like in the Synchro Cat format, like Arcanite Magician used to just fuck up Gores. So that was kind of a problem. And now Arcanite's kind of a thing again. It's so weird how Shadows have brought back like some of the most fucking obscure cards ever. Like Arcanite Magician. Like when was the last time that bitch was relevant? Like I know you can make her in Lightsworn, but oh, we gonna see Lad? Oh wow, Big Fishy. Ancient Deep Sea Coelacanth. Okay. And he discards Soul Charge because he wants to fucking attack this turn. I actually want to see what he's gonna do with Big Fishy. He summons 2 copies of Fishboard Doctor. So that's an instant rank 4. Wait, I thought you could get 3 copies of it. Okay. I was gonna say this card must count as like its name must mean something else. Or something like that. Wait, okay, I'm sorry. You can get as many fish as you want. For some reason I was thinking they all had to be the same name. So he's going to synchro using Archer and Doctor. And he brings out Gun Gear. Man, I was out walking today and I was thinking about my Evil Swarm deck. And for the life of me, I couldn't remember what the fuck that Ophion was. Gun Gear, that's the card that he is. Alright, so Gun Gear pops Earth. And I wonder if Nikki's playing... I wonder if Nikki is playing Gores, because if not, he's about to get OT. Okay, there we go. Nikki is not playing Gores, and that match went super quickly. Bud with the crazy OTK. I mean, talking Big Fish OTK in this day and age. Again, throwback Yugioh, right? Throwback Yugioh. I mean, if people are playing Arcanite again, why can't Big Fish be relevant, right? So, I think I'm going to do a video on... well, I'm definitely going to do a video on like the Yu-Gi-Oh lores, because I think I'm starting to understand them, but I wish Konami would like elaborate. I don't understand how so many of you guys know about these lores and shit. Like, I mean, is there a website you go to or something? Because they're not explained adequately on the cards. They just aren't. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to know that Ophion is Gun Gear? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he don't really look like, he kind of looks like it a little bit, but there's like, I don't know. Like, I literally just found out a week ago that Winda, like, Midrash, this card that is literally shaping the fucking format, that bitch is a Gusto monster. She is a freaking Gusto. I couldn't believe, I'm like, wait, what? Like, she's a Gusto? Are you kidding? So, when I learned that, I was completely shocked. So, I think it has something to do with the dual term, like, and it's weird because all the lore seem to revolve around the dual terminal. Like, you know, there's no Dark Bujin or something. Like, there's no Bujin that got infected and became an Evil Swarm monster. So I think, I don't know, is like the dual terminal a real world? I don't know. So Nikki opts to go first. Against a deck that OTKs, but has to OTK using Big Fish, I think that's a mistake. Like I said, I want an extra card so I have an extra defensive card. Because I feel like you're putting the OTK player closer to an OTK. Like, I would want them with 5 cards. You can have first. I don't give a fuck about that. Because you're not gonna, it's not like you're gonna set up a whole, there's no heavy storm. You going first doesn't stop me from setting 5 back row on my turn. I mean, you're not going to fucking OTK me on your first turn because you can't attack. So, I feel like giving an OTK deck second, okay, you're just basically saying, well, what if they pull off the OTK during their first turn? And, you know what I mean? Highly unlikely, but I don't like to give my opponent more options. Like, I'd always want them to go first. I guess it's like, I don't know, I put it in the context of the erratic theory. Like, would you want erratic going second with more cards than you? Probably not. That deck can OTK you. Like, I would rather it go first, have dead Tefnuits and a whole bunch of other stupid shit that it can't use, and me have more cards. Knowing that it can't really do shit on the first turn anyway. Alright, bro. Bud, you attacked for 1,000. What exactly are you waiting for? I mean, he got his Treeborn dump, which I guess puts him halfway to Big Fish. And looks like he's just going to go put Swap Frog back in his hands. Mickey kind of needs a monster. And considering that Gun Gear can blow shit up, he might want to get an expendable monster. Okay, so he goes Tour Guide. Ooh, Max C. Well, it's only a +1. Whatever. That leads me to think that Nikki's probably running some form of chaos. Most versions of agents that are running like dark monsters and stuff run either like BLS or Chaos Sorcerer. I think Chaos Sorcerer is so good in this format. I just think that everybody's so high on BLS, which, don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic card. I just think Chaos Sorcerer is really, really good too. Like, keep in mind, he's 2400, can totally attack over a lot of good monsters like Murotech and Winda and stuff like that. And again, he banishes. Like, he's more outs to cards like that. He's more outs to Fire Hand and Ice Hand and, you know, Yang Zings and shit like that. So I feel like he's really good. Like, BLS is obviously the home run, but I mean, Chaos Sorcerer is like a triple, you know? He just doesn't have the crazy I can attack twice effect. Alright, so Bud gets his Treeborn. I'm a little surprised that we didn't see a Zenmaines there, but then again, if it's Treeborn, you might think, well, if I make Zenmaines and it gets Caius, I'm fucked. So, or it can get Rized. I mean, we don't know, but yeah, he went big fishy game 1, but he still might be playing some Monarchs in there. Or he might be playing Light and Darkness Dragon, because Fish OTK used to play Light and Darkness Dragon as a change of pace card. Like, a lot of times, they would summon Light and Darkness Dragon, they'd eat up all your fucking resources, and then when you had nothing left, they'd be like, oh, Big Fish, you know? You thought that you had all that defense, you didn't. But then again, Giant Trinade was like totally legal in that format, so Big Fish had no problems OTKing motherfuckers when Giant Trinade was a thing. And if you affect Veiler, there we go. Speak of the devil, right? Caius, he shows up right on time. You try and affect Veiler and they just like tribute another monster to activate its effect. Okay, so we see a pretty clutch Fiendish Chain. And we see an even more clutch Mystical Space Typhoon. Which means Caius is getting his. But we see an even more clutch Fiendish Chain on the chain of MST. So Caius is not getting his. Okay, I guess that's it for the chain. I mean, there will be no second MST or anything like that, apparently. And where does Bud go from here? What, well, I was trying to, I almost had a stupid moment there. I was going to say, what rank 3 can actually attack over Caius? I'm pretty sure Leviathan Dragon was like one of the first rank 3s ever. I mean, I believe he was, what, the second after Grinosaurus came out in Generation Force? Okay, looks like we're seeing a special summon here of Swap Frog. Maybe that might dump Ronin Zonin, and he might try and go Light and Darkness Dragon. Although, I don't know if that'd be a good play. Your opponent could just bait it out with one card and... No, because if they went to Leviathan Dragon, they'd have to detach to activate the effect, which Lad would negate, so... But I guess that would be 2 negates. But I don't know. That's kind of a lot of cards to have to spend to kill Lad. And that's also presuming that Bud's going to summon Lad. And, you know, I'm just going to stop with the hypotheticals. Oh, that's what he wanted to do. He just wanted to bounce the Caius. And then use the Rodent Totem. And then probably go into some Exceed. Maybe Gachi. This is crazy because it kind of feels like these two decks are sort of similar. I mean, how many decks summon Gachi? Like, I guess it's just completely frog-based decks. It's either frog-based decks or Monarchs. I think Ghost Tricks might do it every once in a blue moon, because I know they can kind of go rank 2 crazy. But usually they use their Ghost Trick Exceeds. So you see that he is going to Exceed for 10 tempo. I guess he feels like he can take a material off and attack it. The problem that I have with this play is, how does this stop Caius? Like, at all. I mean, if you got Solemn Warning, good for you. So he's going to steal the material. And he can attack over Gachi because it's only at 2,000 defense. Or maybe he's going to save it and power up his 10 tempo to 2,700 so that it could attack over Caius. But that's assuming that Caius somehow doesn't kill 10 tempo. And right now I got to see it to believe it. So he sets another card. He immediately activates 10 tempo's effect. I would say that was a misplay. Just because if your opponent exceeds now, they might summon something more important than Gachi. Like, usually I either do it in the end phase or the battle phase. I don't do it during the draw phase. Unless he's anticipating a Light and Darkness Dragon. Okay, so Bud gives him the Caius that we all thought he was going to do. And we see a Torrential Tribute played. So 10 tempo will just die, and so will Gachi. I guess there was no way for him to make advantage in that situation. And Bud's going to activate Title's effect to put Fishborg Doctor in the graveyard. Obviously, he pitched Fishborg Archer. I mean, he's got a significant amount of waters in there. He's got Treeborn, Rodent Totem, Doctor, Archer. I want to see where he's going with that, honestly. I really do. Okay, so Treeborn comes out. But what does he do from here? Okay, looks like he's going for another Caius. I guess the Caiuses come in game 2 because it's straight simplification Yu-Gi-Oh! And looks like he's going to chain. Oh, Artifact Sanctum. So Artifact Sanctum is going to totally fuck up Caius's day. Because he was probably going to bring out Murtek. There he is, that dude. Goodbye, Caius. I mean, he can hypothetically just attack over it using Title. But maybe he might set up for a bigger play. Nope, he says, I'm not going to attack over it with anything. In fact, he totally decides to set, which locks him out of Treeborn Frog. Temporarily. Murtek says, I'll attack. I wonder what that face down is. Is that maybe Night Assailant? Could it be? And I guess we're just going to have a good old-fashioned Mexican Murtek standoff. This is Murtek on Murtek crime, people. It shouldn't be happening. Alright, so Nikki just sets one. Apparently nobody plays Breakthrough Skill on these decks. We see an attack. Night Assailant. Oh, wow. I was thinking... I had a picture of a Shine Ball in my head, and I was like, no, please don't be a Shine Ball. It's a Shine Ball. It's always one of the problems with agents is what happens when you draw that shitty Shine Ball. That's why I like Cards from the Sky. I think it's a good card. Because it solves that problem of what happens when I draw Shine Ball or when I draw pretty much any agent. Because I think it's just any fairy, right? A light fairy. It solves that problem of what happens when I draw Venus after I've already used her effect earlier in the game. So now Bud is not even using this Treeborn. He's just going into to straight up Murtec beatdown. Nicky's able to get a second tour guide. And I guess that's why he plays that Night Assailant. And I think we could see a Leviathan Dragon here. Okay, he goes for Zenmaines instead. He might not even play Leviathan Dragon. I still think Leviathan's good. I mean, he's a rank 3, 2,500 attack. What more do you want? I mean, I guess you can play Dante. No, I think Dante might require Burning Abyss monsters. So yeah, 2,500 attack, man. It's like, what more do you want? He can go to 3,000. Beat over a fucking... Well, no, he can't beat over a construct. Well, he can if you have breakthrough skill. But that all of that is besides the point. But summons Treeborn. Dude, he can't have another Kai. Oh my god. This motherfucker has Kaius for days. 3 Kaiuses. There's too many Kaiuses. How do you get around that many Kaiuses? Unless you play Mask of Restrict and then you just shit on Bud's hand. But then he's just like, oh, Artifact Sanctum. Pop. He activated Ignition on Fiendish Chain? But why? What does that do? Okay, it gets him a Murtec. I guess he's going to MST it. Oh, yep, there it is, the MST. I'm so waiting for a DD Crow. And I'm not getting a DD Crow. And this is a serious moral tech war. And it's funny because Bud has been unable to capitalize like he was in earlier games. I also don't understand why he's not using his Treeborn Frog. Like, maybe he forgot about it. You see that he's going to activate... Well, he pitched Doctor. He's going to activate something. Oh, okay. So, he's going to go Archer. Looks like he's going level 7. Black Rose, maybe? Nope. Gun Gear it is. And he don't even got to pop the artifact because he's already stronger than it. Uh-oh. I think he's finally deciding to use that title. He is. And keep in mind, he can actually go Abyss Gyos. Because he's got 2 Water 7s. Ha, I just realized I said Water 7. That's a One Piece reference. Water 7. I love that art. That art was so good. Alright, so... I think he's gonna activate Archer again. Okay, never mind. I guess he was just paying for title. And he's going to Exceed. Ah, he goes Draco Sack. Just to simply pop the Murtec. I guess he feels like it's gonna be more difficult to get around it. Maybe than Abyss Gyos. I mean, I think either play was right, to be honest. But I guess the benefit is Draco Sack gets to pop face down monsters. Summons his Treeborn. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be shocked if he had a fucking 4th Caius. I really wouldn't. He gets 2 more tokens. He could totally summon Big Fish right now. I mean, he has just racks on racks and racks of monsters. Like, I'm not going to be shocked if he summons... Oh, okay, there it is. And down comes Big Fish. Big Fish is just ready to fuck shit up. And Nicky's just like, I'm out of here. He couldn't, when you have to start studying Shine Balls, it's no good. And he wasn't able to use that Hyperion in his hand because I don't think that he actually drew an agent that entire game, which really sucks. Thank you guys for watching as always.